Hello students, today in geography we'll be looking at drainage. Drainage is the flow of water through well-defined channels as seen on the image on the screen. This is a channel, this is a spring, this is a tributary. This can also be another channel where water is draining. Water is draining from these channels and is collecting here. This could be said to be a watershed, and this watershed here is an ocean. So water from different channels, when they collect at a particular place, that place where the water from different channels collects is called drainage. Now let's look at some points to consider when describing a drainage. One of the points to consider when describing a drainage is the compass point. The compass point is a point of direction in which the river is flowing. The point of direction, the direction where the river is coming from, that's a compass point. Another point to consider when describing a drainage is the relief of the area. The relief of the area is the nature of the topography of that area. The nature of the topography of an area can also be considered when describing a drainage. Another point to consider is other water bodies. Are there other water bodies around that place? If there are other water bodies around that place, it can also affect the drainage system of that area. Another point is the drainage pattern of rivers. The drainage pattern of rivers, particular rivers within the certain points or on a map, would also be considered when describing drainage. Now let's look at types of drainage patterns. The first type of drainage pattern we're considering is the dendritic drainage pattern. A dendritic drainage pattern is the most common form and looks like the branching pattern of tree roots. It develops in regions underlain by homogeneous material. The image on the screen is showing us a typical example of what the dendritic drainage pattern looks like. It looks like the branching of a tree, the roots of a tree. It looks like the branching of the roots of a tree. Look at it, the branches. These are channels where the water is coming from and collecting here. So the dendritic drainage pattern looks like the channel, the branches of the tree. Another drainage pattern we're looking at is the radial. The radial drainage pattern develops around the central elevated point where the streams radiate outwards from a central high point. This is the central high point where the watershed is, where the water collects. Now, this water body in the radial drainage pattern, the water is draining away, it's moving away. Look at the arrow showing that the water is moving away from this point. It's flowing away from this point. That's the radial drainage pattern. Another pattern we'll be looking at is the trellis drainage pattern. The trellis drainage pattern develops where sedimentary rocks have been folded or tilted and eroded to varying degrees depending on their strength. In this type, the short subsequent streams meet the main streams at right angle through soft rocks. Differential erosion paves the way for tributaries. Now, water collects from different channels and it flows in the direction of a right angle. That is here. This is where the direction where the water is flowing away from or is draining away from. That's the trellis drainage pattern. The next type of drainage pattern we'll be looking at is the annular drainage pattern. In the annular drainage pattern, streams flow in a nearly circular or concentric pattern along with a weak rock bend, resembling a ring in the plane. This is an annular example or image representation of an annular drainage pattern. If you look at the way the water is draining from these other tributaries or these channels and it's collecting here, and if you look at the way the water is draining, it looks like a ring. It's a form of a ring-like or a circular pattern. Then the last one we'll be looking at is the centripetal drainage pattern. In the centripetal drainage pattern, Streams flows towards a central depression. It is similar to the radial drainage system, with the only exception that the radial drainage flows out, whereas in centripetal drainage the water flows in. This is the image on the screen is a typical representation of the centripetal drainage system. It looks like the radial drainage system, but in the radial drainage system the water is draining and is flowing away. When the centripetal drainage system, the water is flowing in from those channels. This brings us to the end of this lesson today on drainage. Now let's look at the assessment session. Question number 1. What is drainage? Question number 2. State 2 points to consider when describing drainage. Drop your answer at the comment section. That will be all for today. Thank you for watching and join us on our next demo.